Good evening and welcome to Metaphysical Today. I'm Aeson and of course, I'm sitting down with the premier, famous, infamous psychic, Hazel Firefly. How are you, darling?
I'm very good, thank you. How's yourself?
Doing well, popping along, settling into
Same
the fall.
same shit, different day.
Well, yes. It's like, okay, so life doesn't really change a lot around here sometimes. Other times it's like a whirlwind of a hurricane, and it's just like, okay, this, we're coming around on this Aries full moon, and for me, that's normally a calm, ride out the storm phase.
Yeah, yeah.
So it might be interesting to see how things go, but it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent full moon. Granted, we can feel the veil thinning. We're getting into fall time. I'm getting ready to make a chicken cottage pie. Yes, I know it should have lamb in it. Well, this is the US and we can't get lamb.
What about beef mince? Can you get beef mince?
We can get beef mince, but and that does very well. Like we can get beef mince, we can get beef stew meat for the Americans, but like lamb, I've only seen it in the stores once, and then it was sky high. Like I could have bought
Yeah.
lobster cheaper.
Can you get corned beef over there?
Only in the can.
That's okay. You can do a corned beef stew.
I've thought about that.
It is bloody gorgeous.
Yes, I think that would be fun. We're going to be expanding. I don't know if you caught the Psyche of the Plants, but I actually found food. The Walmart's two towns over actually has a whole gluten section for me, so I'm so happy.
Good.
I have like Pop-Tarts and cookies and
Yeah.
all the weird stuff that you don't even think of, and it's like
it is exquisite.
very, very. I was made a little bit bigger deal than probably most people would be because I made myself a ham and cheese wrap, and I think Joe thought I was on something, and it's like, no, honey, I haven't had a wrap in like months. That was actually eatable.
Oh, bless you.
So, it's those funny little things. So today we're talking about the communications that do come from the other side. And we're not talking about sitting down with Hazel or another professional medium. We're talking about the little signs that just pop in there.
The little triggers, I call them.
Yes. I think they're called teleports or portals. And this is when, like, you're making the bed. And all of a sudden, on the new sheets that you just put on the bed, there's a silver piece. And you're like, there's no way that was in the dryer.
I see it as, because whenever I have them a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, whoa, where the hell did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
Strange things that you least expect, but when you have them good.
Mm-hmm. And like to get you good.
Yes.
What are some common ones?
The common ones are feathers that you'll see that are just appear before you.
Mm-hmm.
I'd even so much as to say robins.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Over here, I think it's a lot of cardinals, but I also think that's because that's a more common bird here.
Yeah. It's like the robins over here, they're known as a winter bird.
Mm-hmm.
But they do come all year round.
Right.
And it's strange things that trigger me are smells.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to sound so random. Music.
Very interesting on music. Especially when it's like playing with the radio.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we're talking Terrier radio. We're not talking like playlists. We're talking, the old-fashioned AM/FM radios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silly things and like perfume smells.
Mm-hmm.
And even I'll go far as to say hair colour.
Okay, hair color?
Mm-hmm.
Explain.
My mum had really, really, and I mean bright pillar box red hair colour.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very rare that I see that. But if I do, it's like, shit, there's my mum.
Right.
You know,
Oh
that's a
boy.
sign from her. It's
Mm-hmm.
weird things.
Well, no, I guess it is weird, probably to the outside world.
Yeah. But to us, like, I've had like my bedclothes pulled off me
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. And I'm like, oh, mum, just piss off, let me sleep.
Right.
And I know because my auntie was my mum's sister.
Right.
And my auntie gets the same things as well.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. For me, it's hiding of the keys or hiding
Yes.
of the wallet. Like, Dad never wanted us to go out at 2 in the morning. From 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning, you stayed home. You don't go out. You're going to get arrested if you go out. I don't know. He had this mindset. Like, this was his thing. Um, so like if we'll go to run out to get cigarettes or go pick up the invisible now, we have to hunt for the keys.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're not and it's not like we don't put them where they belong. That's not our issue. We do put them where they belong because we have to, because it's in the checklist so that we can stay organized. But he will just take and hide them, and then they'll turn up in like the randomness place,
Yeah.
like under the bed or in the refrigerator. And it's like, there's no way I put my keys in the refrigerator. They don't need refrigeration.
Wait until you get to that age where you put things in the refrigerator that shouldn't be there and other
Hmm.
things where your keys should be.
That would be interesting if I got to that point, but like, I just don't anymore because one, because I have like a checklist in my head of where things go so that I can
Yeah.
find them. Because ADHD, we are known to hide and lose things, and I have like 3 sets of keys that are basically the same keys with different features.
Yeah.
But all 3 sets will be gone, and it'll be like, okay, hey Joe, I need your key, and he's like, I can't find mine either, and it's like, all right, Dad, give me back the keys.
Yeah. I was talking to a group of friends last night on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they were like, well, what does this mean? What does that mean? I said, if spirit wants you to know something, even if it's there around you, one way or the other, they will make themselves known.
Mm-hmm.
And like, yourself, you can be sitting at home and the smell of perfume or aftershave will just
Mm-hmm.
whiffed past.
Right.
Like last night when I was talking to him, I said, for some reason, I'm just talking to you and I can smell Old Spice and Brute.
Right.
You know how brutal they were back in the days.
Oh, they slapped it on like in Wild Country. Dad wore Wild Country for years. Then that's a scent. It's like vanilla filter. You will never forget the scent of Wild Country. Yes, it's
Yeah,
an Avon cologne perfume. For our internationals, it was a very strong scented cologne that smells like if you took coffee and soaked it in leather.
and you smell them now and you think, Jesus, cat's piss smells better.
Well, no, actually, I'm a little bit of a weirdo because I like the older colognes, especially men's older colognes. The one I don't like is Old Spice, but like Wild Country, English Leather, like those are really nice, rich colognes, a lot better than what's being produced. But they're not the same formulas anymore.
Yeah, yeah. And it's strange things. Like, there's one song I cannot listen to because
Hmm.
it's connected to when my mum for a funeral.
Right.
And soon as that song comes on, I'm like, knock it off.
Right.
knock the fucking thing off right now. The
Mm-hmm.
same as yourself, some things trigger you to that point.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Well, and even that song, there's a song called Daddy's Hands by Reuben Magner. Not listened
Yeah.
to it in 13, 14 years. Will not listen to it.
Yeah.
But, I don't listen to a lot of Terrio radio either.
See, all depends what mood I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
You know yourself, music affects us massively.
It does.
And people, I think other people it do, but to us, if we're in a bad mood, you put an upbeat song on and that's you sorted for the day.
Right. Or it can at least get you moving for the day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the most weirdest experience you've had?
I think the weirdest experience I've had, it was right after my grandfather passed. And I'm in the kitchen. I'm like 9 fixing breakfast. And I turned and I swore he was there going, I want my bowl of oatmeal. That was like next level weird for me. And,
Yeah.
because we didn't fix oatmeal after, like our house is not an oatmeal home. You enjoy that oatmeal, then enjoy the oatmeal, but we don't. But that energy or seeing them is always a shocker.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
And then the other one, which is interesting, and it's more so, it has nothing to do with my family. There's a place called the Anchorage that I have done shows at and done readings at, and every time I get there, it feels like I'm greeted by the housekeeper. And one day we were there, and it's blistering hot, 95 degrees that day, and I'm like, can we open these windows and open that door? And like, it just cooled immensely down in there. But it was using the system that was built into the house that nobody had knowledge of to keep the house cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really strange because in this house, me and Sean gave up smoking 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So no fags have been smoked in the house for that long. But we often smell smoke, but only in the living room
Mm-hmm.
and in my bedroom.
Hmm.
And when I asked like the neighbours, because a lot of the neighbours are older people, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, an old man lived there. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
right, that explains it all.
Right.
And when my mum passed away, I think it was about 5 days later, we had to go and buy the kids new funeral clothes.
Right.
Because you never buy kids funeral clothes, as you know. You only buy them as you need them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was walking through a shop, and there was a woman walking in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
The same pillar box red hair, the same build as my mum. Now, bearing in mind, my mum was shorter than me and I'm small.
Right.
And I can remember it vivid. I started shouting, Mum, Mum, they've said you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the lady turned round. She wore glasses exactly like my mum.
Mm-hmm.
And she had different facial features.
Mm-hmm.
And I just broke down in the middle of the shop.
Mm.
But then,
Understandable.
when I thought about it, it was her letting me know that she was with me to do what I had to do.
Right. And
But
like,
it's things like that people don't realize have that effect.
right. Or the connection with people.
Yes.
And then like the everyday, non-spooky is like, coins appearing up where they don't belong. Stones and feathers appearing up where they don't belong. What I mean by that is you're cleaning your house and all of a sudden there's a bird feather in there.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a bird feather in your home normally.
It's really weird because what was I doing? I was out with the kids one day and there was loads of birds above us, and I turned around and said, wouldn't it be funny if a bird shit on your head?
Mm-hmm.
Within 2 minutes, a bird had done it.
Ah.
So even though you think nobody's listening, somebody is always listening.
Exactly. And they're always connected with us, which I think is sometimes hard for people to get.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like, no, they get to hear all of it. They get to deal with all of it. They get to connect with all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that, people forget or they question whether, it's just grief. No, honey, 16, 18 years later, it isn't just grief.
Yeah. Yeah. The one thing I find people struggle with is they'll say, is my loved one now a fairy? Fairy and spirit are two totally different things.
Right. Well, and it's like, or is my loved one an angel? No,
No,
not their department.
no.
Or is my loved one my guide? Mm, Rarely. Normally, it's after they've passed and taken
Yeah.
some time for some recovery.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, grandma died Thursday and she reported to guide duty on Friday.
Yeah. Kathy passed away when I was a tiny, tiny baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then she became my guide years later.
Right.
And then, like, yeah, guardian angels is a totally different thing.
Right.
But I think that's where people get everything confused.
Right.
Because you know yourself, angels and fairies are a totally different spectrum.
And species.
Yes.
And I think that's
Yeah.
the harder point there is people keep thinking that all spirits are the same species. No, they're not.
No.
Your dog cannot
No.
become your cat. You cannot become your, mother, or wife's dog in
Yeah.
this life or the next life.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people get confused with things.
Right.
Like, I won't do angel card readings.
Okay.
This is going to sound really pig-headed, but
Not
I
really.
don't feel they tell a story.
Okay.
Whereas tarot cards do. I find angel cards are more of, how can I put it, of like a calm down.
Well, first of all, you have, a lot of people get, confused that angel, because I do read angel cards, but at the
Yeah.
same time, angels really don't care if he's going to call.
No.
They don't care, what you're going through unless it's what they think that, you need help understanding.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. There's no story to them. I
No.
think they're more advice than a story.
Right. Well, and that's because they aren't technically supposed to interfere
Yeah.
with the human experience. That doesn't mean that they don't care about the human experience. It's just like that's not their department. They're not
Yeah.
supposed to interfere, engage, and they're just watchers.
What's the other one I always get? I always get asked, do you read for yourself?
No.
No. My answer always is a good reader never even tries to read for themselves.
Right. And here's why. You're going to tell yourself what you want to hear.
Yes. Yeah. You get a bad card, you'll say, oh, that's because I'm going to fall down next week. That's not because you got a great big bill coming in that you don't want to face. And we do influence the cards.
Well, we do. And, but you got to remember, those cards are an extension of you, and, a tool of yours.
Yeah.
And people tend to forget and to get overwhelmed with that tool, but they also, that tool is not going to tell you, well, well, one or two mindsets. If you're in that everything is great and wonderful and grand mood, they're going to, just like your best friends, oh, yes, he's the love of your life. Everything is fine. The minute you break up with him, that pig, he ain't worth the time of day.
I also think, and I'd like your genuine opinion on this,
Okay.
people who are practicing to use the cards,
Mm-hmm.
because they're practicing, they
Mm-hmm.
don't understand the cards correctly, then they make their situation a lot better than what it technically is.
Mm-hmm.
And then they come to us and say, I've pulled this card. What does this card mean? I'm
Right.
not being funny, love, but one card will not tell you what the whole deck is trying to tell you.
Right.
You know, the spread you pull that spread for a reason, and you shouldn't be reading for yourself anyway.
Right. And that's because, the decks were in meaning, and their interpreted meanings are for us to
Yes.
find, do, connect.
Yeah.
But on the other side of that broomstick, when people are just learning, they should just be learning. They've got to find their own connectivity.
Yeah.
That's why, like with my students, they work with one card a day, and I don't care what the meaning of the book says. What is the meaning for you?
Yeah. I always say to someone, and you probably agree with this, if you're bought a deck of cards with the book, throw the book away.
Actually, I have uses for it, because here in West Virginia, a lot of things are in level. And it makes a lovely coaster for your coffee cup.
I thought you was going to say you wipe your ass with it.
No. I mean, we aren't that desperate yet for toilet paper, but...
I've been bought some lovely new cards.
Oh, what you get?
Now, I don't know the name of them because they were handed to me.
Okay.
Because the lady who gave them to me said she've worked with Spirit for years.
Mm-hmm.
You never give somebody a closed box of cards.
Right.
So that's the back of them. Oh, shit.
Left. Let's see the inside.
Oh, where are we?
Oh, interesting.
And where's... Like, they're so lovely. Let me find... Like that one. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Forgiveness.
Now, forgiveness can mean so many different things. And what I like about these is there's not one bad word in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one, bittersweet.
Right.
And for me, they're just too big for me to use because I've only got little hands. But I'm going with them because, it's like you've got to connect with your cards.
Right.
But I'm like you, they were given to me, but they were given to me for a reason.
Give me a minute.
You're trying to search what deck for me,
Uh-huh. Well, it's not that one. So it's not the artist I thought.
But I thought the back of them are really unusual.
Right. They're crystal. Okay, they don't look like normal tarot.
Right.
So they are not the crystal tarot.
I've never seen them before.
Right. And it didn't have a...
They had nothing on them at all.
They didn't even have a place card?
No. Let me just go through them again.
Okay.
No, nothing at all. And what I liked about them was like every time she moves forward, she's reaching a new milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought, oh shit, which I thought was unusual as well.
Very much so.
But nothing on them to identify them at all.
Hmm.
And like there's words in you that I wouldn't have even thought of using, like vanity, discovery. Instinct. Now they are words we would never think of with a deck of cards.
What about the... No.
I'll have to see if I can get Sean to do a Google research on them.
Right.
But obviously they were given to me for a reason, so...
Right. And obviously, you know, I'm sure you'll work with them. Even though they're bigger, if you side stack them, you should be fine.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that at times can be hard to get used to.
We need to take our break.
Yes, let's take our break and we'll come back, guys.
Love diving into metaphysical topics, psychic insights, and lively discussions? Now you can help keep the conversation going. By becoming a Patreon supporter of The Psychic Coffee Shop, you'll gain access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and special perks just for our patrons. Join our community and ensure that your favorite psychic show continues to thrive. Your support helps us bring more enlightening episodes, special guests, and deep dives into the world of the unseen. Become a patron today and enjoy a cup of wisdom with us every week. Click the link to join the baristas and unlock exclusive content. Thank you for your support.
Unlock your full potential with Aeson Knight's life coaching. Are you ready to take control of your life and manifest the future you deserve? Aeson Knight, a seasoned life coach and master psychic, is here to guide you on a transformative journey. Whether you're navigating personal challenges, career transitions, or seeking spiritual growth, Aeson's life coaching services offer tailored guidance to help you achieve your goals. With Aeson by your side, you'll discover the tools to overcome obstacles, embrace your true self, and create a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. His unique blend of spiritual insight and practical coaching empowers you to turn your dreams into reality. Ready to make a change? Book your session today and start your journey to a more empowered, balanced, and joyful life with Aeson Knight. Click the link to schedule your first session and step into your power.
Are you ready for an electrifying podcast experience that keeps you coming back for more? Join Aeson Knight every week as he takes you on a journey through captivating shows, each exploring unique and fascinating topics. And here's the best part. By subscribing, you'll never miss an episode where you can get your burning questions answered live on air, absolutely free. Whether it's relationship advice, career guidance, or mystical insights, Aeson's podcasts have got you covered. When you subscribe, you become part of a vibrant community, engaging directly with Aeson as he shares his wisdom and leaves you feeling empowered and enlightened. Don't miss out. Subscribe now and be part of the conversation. What you'll get by subscribing: Monday 5 p.m. Metaphysics. Today, Soulful Conversations with Aeson Knight and Firefly, exploring the essence of metaphysics in today's world. Tuesday 8 p.m. The Psychic Coffee Shop. Dive into current events with a psychic twist, featuring special guests and thought-provoking discussions. Friday 9 p.m. The Mountain Bears Podcast. Lively discussions from a gayish, techie-ish, bearish perspective with Aeson and Joe. Sunday 5 p.m., Psychic That Plans. Get a weekly tarot energy overview and time management tips from Aeson Knight. Click here to subscribe now and never miss an episode. By subscribing, you're not just tuning in, you're joining a community of curious minds and ensuring you're always in the loop with Aeson's insightful and interactive shows. Don't wait. Hit that subscribe button and get ready for an amazing podcast journey.
Ready for an enchanting journey of self-discovery? Join Lord Aeson Knight in our Wicca courses. Unveil the secrets of Wicca. Explore deity relationships, rituals, and more. As a third-degree high priest, Aeson Knight guides you toward empowerment and enlightenment. Enroll today and take your first step into the magical circle. Click the link to begin your journey.
Psychic Saturday. Get 50% off with Aeson Knight every third Saturday of the month. Don't miss out. Book now.
All right, welcome back. All right, so we were trying to track down a deck. We haven't gotten it yet, and that happens. But let's talk a moment, because you brought up like the deck is so big, too big for your hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you sidestep that deck,
I wonder if I find it easier doing them. Oh, I can do them that way.
yeah,
Upright.
yeah, or upright.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, then you'll be able to use it. Of course, you
Yeah.
have to sleep with your deck for 3 days and
Yeah.
get used to their energies and get used to them. Notice I didn't talk about anything about clearing the deck or smudging it or any of that. The reason for that is it's like you don't smudge your friends after they've been to somebody else's house. Like, come on, guys. Let's get real with this.
It's just strange how other people do their clearings.
Right.
Mine will be in a cotton bag under my pillow for 3 nights
Mm-hmm.
so that they can get my energies and I can get theirs.
Right.
Because it's not just our energies. We've got to, when you get a new deck of cards, it's 2 separate things, but you need to put them together like a jigsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And if those don't fit, you're not going to work together.
Right.
That's the way I explain it.
Right. And I agree with it. I agree that like you've got to vibrate to them, they've got to vibrate to you.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, I see all these methods and it's like, why are you doing that? Where's the logic in that?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to clear my deck after every reading. Yeah, you tap it on the table and you keep moving. Like, who has time when you're dealing with thousands of clients or hundreds of clients to be going, oh, I've got to, go and cleanse and clear this deck and cleanse and no, stop it.
Yeah.
Like, get real, people. Knock it off.
Yeah. And I think that's a difficult one for people to understand as well.
Right.
And I'm really strict. Nobody else is to touch my cards.
See, and I don't care. Shuffle my cards. I don't
Yeah.
like you reading on them, but shuffle. Like, I prefer my clients to shuffle up, when they're in person, that way their energy gets with the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I'm the complete opposite. I don't like anybody touching them at all.
Understandable. I mean, and a lot of people that way, and especially with our current health situations, I can completely understand people not wanting their decks touched because they are paper and porous and pick up everything.
Oh, we've got Aisha. I hope I've said your name right. Can she ask a question?
Of course. But choose who you want to read and remember your birthday. Here, I'll go ahead and flip this on. There we go. We have a banner for it. But no, like, people have to take their time reading their decks. They have to take time seeing out where the deck is and what the deck does. And every deck is different. I mean, reading with this deck versus this deck. This deck is called the Dishonor deck. And I got it from a video game. It was one of the things they produced with the video game. And it's an interesting, but it's more of a poker style deck.
Yeah.
And it comes off a lot more smart-assed.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll just play with this a moment. I've got to pull out its placeholder. Okay, so do you want to take it or you want me to take it?
You can take it if you want to.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and pop it up on screen. You know what? I will use this on our Katanomy deck because you guys see my other deck all the time. 829.97 is Solomon 429. Feelings for me. Why did he message me today? Does he have intentions of marrying me? All right, well, let's see what's up with the cards. Oh, interesting. Okay, here we go. All right, first up on the deck is the King of Skulls. This vibrates into the King of Money. He's working with finances. He's got a good head. We have the Three of Rats. When we have the Three of Rats here, it shows him trying to balance multiple things. And then we have the Governess. And with the Governess, it's that caretaker, that nurturer. Why did he message you today? Is because he's wanting to communicate. He's wanting to open up those lines, even though it may be a little bit harder. And does he have intentions of marrying you? First up, we have the Ten of Rats and the Nine of Rats. And then we have the King of Daggers. I feel that he has the intention of marrying you, but that's not his main focus right now. His main focus is to get himself in a position. Okay? Meaning you guys aren't to that point yet. So I think that is very early for him, and I think you're going to have to step back. Yes, darling?
I was going to say, I feel trust is an issue here.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel it's from him. I feel the trust issues are with Aisha, if I'm saying her name correctly. Right. Because she's been hurt in the past, she's struggling to trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where you need to learn to trust him.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I thought as much.
Yeah.
Don't panic. Go with the flow. Because if you panic, you're going to put barriers in the way. And that's something you don't want to do.
Right. All right. Then we looked at the other question of, does he love you? First up, we have the Two of Pistols, followed by the Ace of Skulls, followed by the Two of Pistols again. So with Three of Pistols, Two of Pistols, Ace of Skulls, yes, he does love you. Oh, lovely.
Oh, hi, Ash. I know who you are now.
Hi, Ash. How are you? We are so glad we can help you.
Now. Thank you, Ash.
Yes. We enjoy talking with you, Ash, and we very much are enjoyable to help anyone. It's so nice for you to connect with us. Right. Okay, of course, thank you. It's good to hear. Yeah, you got to just slow down and take some patience, though.
I am, yes.
Yeah.
I come up with the most random crap, but it's random to me, but it means something to my client.
Right. And that's the fun of psychic readings. Like, I enjoy, and playing with different decks. Again, I don't use this one this often. I may start using it more on the show since we're in the spooky season.
Can you go away about the spooky season?
Go away with it. No, I enjoy the spooky season.
We've got a lot. When's our last? So we've got a show on the 28th.
Right.
Should we change that to all is spooky? Should we dress up?
I may dress up. I will leave it at
No,
we
it's
will
a
see.
challenge. It's a challenge. We need
Well,
to
it is the
dress
history
up.
of Halloween. That's what we're talking about, the history of Halloween. So yeah,
we
of course
need to
we would
dress
dress
up.
up. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's going to be fun and games.
Yes. Like you always bring up the fun in me. All right, darling. So what are you doing this week?
I'm doing the normal from... At the moment, my body clock is a bit all fuddled because we got a change of hours coming this month.
Yes.
That's something we need to work with and work on,
Right.
so that we keep our time zones the same. But
Right.
with myself, I'm the normal 9 till midnight and taking my few hours break in the afternoon.
Okay. And of course, I'm doing my 8 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. and that is in Eastern Standard Time, so it converts very easily to the other times.
And I think that works well because
It does.
Ash obviously uses the two of us.
Right.
So as I'm signing off and climbing into bed, you're signing on.
Sometimes, and then you get up early, and I'm like, "What are you doing up?" And then because she's, I don't know, her ratings are so great. She's always at the top of the page, and I'm like, "Can I just get above the read line, please?" Like, what do I got to do? Sign in for 24 hours a day?
You'll get there.
I know. It's always fun. But no, I'm going to be on my midnights. That's what I call it, my Vampirial lifestyle. Like, I don't get up till about an hour before the show, which is confusing to a lot of people because they're like, but you have posts, and it's like, no, I have all that pre-scheduled so that I can rest. Like, I cannot be Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's something we have to do a lot of, is rest.
Just take in the rest, and especially when you're merging with so many energies in a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the good thing about us doing the podcast as well, as because you believe me, guys, I will message him and I'll say, I've had a fucking guts full. I can't do this. And he'll say, calm down. What's going on?
Yeah,
and then
grab a cup of tea.
Then he'll do the same to me. So we bounce off each other.
We do.
And we work really well as a team.
We do. And, we work really well in, like, helping our clients, and we teamwork, but we read differently. We don't share information.
No, because that's confidentiality and something we wouldn't do.
Right. Because I do want to kind of talk about this. Ash, I didn't know you read with Hazel, and she didn't know.
And I didn't know Ash came to you.
Yeah.
That's why it took me a minute to work out who Ash was.
Well, it always takes me a moment to go, okay, I know the energy. Let's put a name with it. Or, what situation, and it's like, files, search the files.
Yeah. But we never, ever confer who's read for who.
Right. Or, I told them, no, that's not us. We don't even confer when we have bad clients.
No.
No.
Never, ever.
Right.
Because I work the same way as a doctor's receptionist. You know how strict I'm reading on third parties as well.
Right. You don't read third parties. I read third parties like they're bad newspaper articles. Yeah. Or fourth parties, because sometimes the fourth party is inferring the first party, and it's like, he's acting like an ass because he's friends an ass. Yeah. Or,
and that's the good thing about us. We both read different ways.
Yes.
And we both have different ethoses.
Exactly.
But we've got the same when it comes to confidentiality.
Very much so. And
more so, respect.
Well, respect of the client, respect of you, respect of your guest, respect of the time. I don't do this. I'm trying to think of how to present this generally, because it drives me crazy. Adding additional information that has nothing to do with the reading. I'm like, oh, you're an Aries. I'm also an Aries.
Oh God, no.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
what you need, how can and if the lawyers and insurance companies would not get on to me, I would love to read under the title ER Psychic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm there. Get in, get out.
Yeah.
Patch you up, send you on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes clients sees that as rude. No, we're not rude. We know how expensive the service can be. We're trying to do you a favor.
Well, not only that, but like if you need me to break it down for you, I have no problem breaking it down.
Yeah.
But if you just want to know if he's calling within the next 7 days, yes, no, maybe, here's the time frame, and boom.
Oh, thank you, Ash. That means the world to us.
It really does, Ash. Thank you, darling. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to wrap this one up. I do want you guys to take some time this week because the veil is thinning. We're getting closer to the Hallow Eve and All Souls Day. So with that, take some time to reflect on the ones around you, start looking for those little signs and symbols that you're on the right path. And let's take it away with our Patreons. Thank you, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Brenda, Joan Owens, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Caitlin Bell, Devin, Bella, and Maria Myers. If you guys would like to learn more about the podcast or how to support it, you can visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
And don't forget, guys, self-care is a massive thing. Take some time out for yourselves as well.
Yes, self-care is important, especially as we go through these energy changes and seasonal changes.
Yeah.
Be working towards that. All right, what are we up for next week?
Where's my book? I've been tidying my drawers. I bet I won't be able to find. I found it.
Yay.
Next week we are on. What's the date next week?
It is the 21st.
Relationships on the other side.
Yes. What's going to happen with, the second and third husband or the first wife and the second wife and, maybe the wife you divorced. There's been this big discussion in certain communities about sealings. And for those that don't know what sealings are, it's like a blessing of the marriage on heaven and earth. There's been a lot of discussion on that, and we're going to be talking about that too. So
can I just interrupt?
Yes.
We've got our meeting coming up in November for the next 3 months podcasts.
Right.
So guys, if any of you got anything you want us to speak about, please leave us a message somewhere. We're on plenty of different streams. Yeah, we're on multiple streams. We're on 4 different streams. So make sure, and we have our rewatch community. We watch, next week we're going to be taking on any comments. Go ahead and leave those and rewatch. If you are in the chat, even just comment a coffee cup to let us know you made it this far through. Yeah, because we do this of what you guys want us to do.
Exactly. And we sometimes would, do we want to talk about the metaphysical gravitational pull of the 3rd dimension to the 4th dimension? Is that even something you guys would be interested in?
I think some people would probably get bored with that.
I think a lot of people would get freaking confused because it took me about 6 months to work through that manual.
Well, I was looking for a polite way to put it.
Well, I will say this. The metaphysical and working with harmonics and vibrations can get very scientifically confusing.
I think it's time for coffee.
Oh, it's more than coffee, honey. It's time to pull out the sherry and the whiskey. And because we're going to have to pull out a whiteboard to talk about that. But if you want to hear about that, if you want to hear about what it means to have chakra cleansing and what's really going on and how to tell a real chakra cleansing from a separate chakra cleansing, or our opinions on spells, or all that.
Or even something simple as clearing energies from within your home.
Yeah.
And how to balance energies.
Yeah. Now, realize I'm a powwow practitioner, so I don't do complicated. You want to clear the energy of your home, go get a soup spoon and a pot. Start banging it up.
And I certainly don't do all that.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
there's so many different ways of practicing and things that we can get into, but that's totally up to you guys. All right, guys, we will see you next week. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we will see you on Metaphysical Today at 5 p.m. Eastern,
10 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time.
All right, guys, have a great evening. Bye, y'all.
Bye.